to have an association that's covering a region like this, I've never seen anything else like this in the U.S.
The Austin Disaster Relief Network needs our help.
The number one goal for ADRN in our existence is to sponsor families affected by disaster.
ADRN is the most effective church networking organization in the entire United States.
So in 2005, the Gulf Coast was ravaged by 2 Category 5 hurricanes within 20 days of one another. And the civic centers filled up, our schools filled up with refugees, and our church was trying to respond to those. However, the church was not ready to respond, and as a result of not having background checked individuals and trained individuals, we were locked out from servicing all those individuals.
Hurricane Katrina hit. In the midst of that, I was on the phone with our church pastor when the entire vision for ADRN was downloaded in a flash. I quickly got a napkin, anything I could find to write it down. When the evacuees came in from New Orleans, they first were brought in through FEMA.
He was really excited. I had a video that he wanted to show me. The video was his vision for ADRN. We got a bunch of pastors together, said, surely there's some way we can work together to make this happen.
So within less than 10 months of saying, what do we need to get this going? He says, we need churches, we need a call center, we need office space, we need funding. And we said, Hill Country is in.
The first meeting I ever had was with the City of Austin and head of City of Austin and head of Red Cross, because we knew from the past, from Katrina, a handful of pastors that said when the survivors of Katrina were sent in, you know, you're here because of your sin. So the name of the church and just the impact of that really put a bad taste in their mouth. So we came there saying, how do we serve you? And they said, no one has ever asked us, how can we serve you?
We had so much to do. It was, what do we have to do? Policies, procedures, and all that kind of stuff. And everybody was very interested in getting it done, but there was a huge amount to get done to set up an organization.
We saw Tropical Storm Hermine with over 800 homes impacted in Williamson County. And at that time, the church was prepared.
And like anybody else, I was nervous, and we were in a team together and wondering if we were doing it right. But man, by the end of the day, we saw the impact and the power that it had to be equipped to understand what people have been affected or going through, to hear their story, and to express the concern and the love of the Father in those tragic moments. And it was transformational.
2011, when the Bastrop fires happened, we went from baby to a toddler beginning to crawl. For the first time, the church was given an escort in. We were given carte blanche, full responsibility to take care of the emotional and spiritual care of all of these survivors.
2 disasters are happening simultaneously, one in Spicewood and one in Bastrop. And that was a massive growing moment for me, the largest I'd ever been in. And I tell people, disaster relief is an accelerated growth track. I matured 3 years in that 3-month window of that response.
Hello, my name is Daniel Geraci, and I'm here with Stephen Brewer. We want to talk to you just for a few minutes about the...
I remember people talking to us in those early days saying, this organization's only 3, 4, 5 years old, and it's already beginning to walk in a significant way. And so we knew that we were on an accelerated growth track.
In 2013 in West Texas, the fertilizer plant exploded and it devastated a community. We were called out to help out with emotional spiritual care. We began to work with the churches in that community to help form the Waco Disaster Relief Network.
They were here the day after this thing happened, ministering to our people in our city. A bunch of Longhorns in Oklahoma helping us out.
In Austin, Texas, flash flooding could reach historic levels today. Up to a foot of rain fell Sunday. Rescuers saved several drivers stranded in their cars. The flash flooding forced more than 20 families from their homes. Organizers canceled the last day of the Austin City Limits Music Festival. Heavy rain is in the forecast through tomorrow.
Heartbreaking story out of Wimberley tonight, where up to 12 people are still missing, including 2 families with children.
The 2015 flood that touched 7 different counties, 1,800 homes affected. And then not even too long after that, we see the October 30th flood of that year. It was a heavy time for us. Volunteerism, compassion fatigue, these were all realities to us. It's like we were calling for help and the responses weren't coming, and we felt the weight of this. I stand before you in the midst of a community that claims to me that it's been forgotten. Friday, October 30th, 2015, our region experienced one of the greatest disasters on recorded history. The weight of that was significant, but God was faithful to carry us through. And we knew that, man, we needed to be prepared and rested to respond to disaster at any given point.
Doing something that mattered. I think we search for that, all of us, right? To want to be involved in something that really, truly matters, that really is going to go make a difference in the world. I knew they had tapped into something big.
God had prepared a place for us in a supernatural way to get 28,000 square feet in the center of Austin at the price the same of what we would have paid for 6,000 or 8,000 square feet in Northwest Austin. And we were like, what do we do with 28,000 square feet? Well, the Lord knew. He knew we would need every square inch of that place.
I'm here behind me in Port Arthur, Texas, is what they call Tent City. And, during Harvey, I went to Port Arthur, and I'd never seen a city so devastated. Over 85% of that city was impacted, but yet there wasn't really any organization yet fully engaged in sowing into the city. The Lord gave us a plan about having 1,000 volunteers, 20 buses, but we had 10 days of planning this mega event where we would bring well over $1 million into this city.
When Harvey hit, sending people on bus loads down to help people from Hurricane Harvey and coming back and having them report to the church that this is a work that the church is doing, being the hands and feet of Jesus.
It was pretty nuts. We were on the edge almost every day going, we need you, God. But God continued to show up because He really is in the disaster business.
Before I even go any further, let me say thank you. Thank you for every person that did anything. Thank you.
So ADRN has been an absolute godsend, knowing that you have ADRN behind you and certain people like Daniel and Derek and Amy and Veronica that just come in and just lift you back up and remind you why you're doing this and give you that guidance.
Never in our wildest dreams could we have imagined in 2008 when we were sitting down over tuna salad sandwiches that we would see the impact that God is using now because of hundreds of churches coming together.
Whenever there's a disaster, we get the notification, we need systems, we need certs. Man, people show up here and there, and it's just fantastic.
Since this experience, I joined ADRN because I wanted to give something back.
All of the faces of the volunteers were reflecting Jesus. It's real when Jesus shines out of your face.
And so for me, it meant that my prayers were being answered. It also meant that He was present in my life.
And to see the change that's impacted through such horrific things, to see what God can do, and I can't even imagine the ripple effect in the communities. The stories go on and on.
Imagine all around the nation if other churches in other cities began to mobilize, get organized, be prepared in advance. What would that look like to the next disaster in their city or the next crisis in their city? I think this is the heartbeat of the Lord.